Hello, colleagues. Welcome to Career and Corporate Hub. Nadzina and Fikwadani Hlajayo. We are starting a new segment because I get a lot of questions, a lot of emails with questions, and also from my consultations, I get questions that I think would be worthy, to talk about so that other people can also apply them in their life or in their career growth. So I got a question from, yes, I'll also be looking at the comments also and try to expand on like different videos. So today's one, we're going to talk about how to create your CV when you don't have any work experience. And the question was coming from Londi. What if you don't have work experience? So she was looking at the video that I did a while back on make your CV stand out. So when you don't have a work experience, I actually get this question quite a lot, more especially on TikTok on how can I make my CV stand out if I don't have a work, any work experience? And a lot of people are faced with this after studying university. And when people look at like work experience, they always look at it from you working for a company which has, like, for an example, a big corporation. That's what most people look at as like a work experience. And, when I get such a question, I also ask myself, like, if you don't have any work experience, I wonder how your academic record is. That means you must be really focused on your academic record, and it must be, you must have passed with distinction, like passed your degree with distinction, because if you don't have any work experience, then that means all your focus is going towards, studying. That's why you don't have time to work. You don't have time to work as a lab assistant. For an example, if you are in varsity, you don't have time to work as a tutor. If you're in varsity, like those are some of the examples of some of the things that you can do. But looking at that, it's really tough now to get a job when you don't have any work experience, because you are also competing with people who have either been retrenched or they've worked and then their contract ended, because South Africa is faced with high unemployment rate, and people who are currently experienced and do not have any job currently, they are even looking into studying over as an intern or as a graduate, like to get into a graduate trainee, because they know that that is going to help them to get absorbed in the company. Because most companies, when they advertise these jobs, they have they're creating a succession plan. Like usually there's somebody that's going to retire. That would normally usually be the case, but now the government also requires the company to hire interns, and to create internship programs and also graduate programs, because of this high unemployment rate. A lot of people, a lot of companies sometimes would advertise a job and they would want somebody with like 10 years of experience, and they are going to do like something very minimal, and you're like, but I could do this job without any experience. So now the government has really tried to put that I think not even a clause, but yeah, a lot of companies now are taking interns. And now, when you finish school, when you graduate, the first thing that you want to do is to go work, obviously. So starting with an internship, then that's where you start your career. So now going back to the CV without experience, experience is not only from the company that you've worked for. You can look at different areas where you've worked. For an example, in church, you may find that you were doing a lot of work in church, where you had like complete full-on responsibilities that you can put as part of your CV. You can put, for an example, if you work for a Christ Kingdom Church, you can put the name of the church and put then the date and the end date, the start date and the end date, if you're not there anymore, and put in the responsibilities. You may find that you were responsible to make sure that when people come to church, they find everything organized, the chairs are in the right positions, the pastor also, you organize like water, so basically you do a lot of organizations at church. And you find that when there are activities also, for example, church conferences, you're the one that is like creating the posters, you're the one that is also organizing the conference. So you can put that as part of your experience because that shows that you've learned a lot of skills from that. Then when you talk about your skills, at least you would have demonstrated where you learned those skills from the experience that you had or you got when you were working at church. So you can also use that. Just try to reflect on different things that you've done in the past. Look at your school, for an example. You may find that you're also helping your teacher, and that could also be applicable as something that you've done. So let's not only look at experience as, something that you've worked for, like this big company, or rather just like any company, and that's how you then look at what an experience is. And now, getting into the detail, even if you've never done anything, it's quite important that your career summary or the very part, like professional summary at the top has got something that is very like worthy for somebody to hire you. Like you must have a very strong opening line on your summary that would make your story different, that would make your story unique, and that would make the recruiters to feel like they would want to hire you. So that's why it's very important then that you just think back of what you can include, which is different, which would make your CV stand out. So that's very important. And you would then include your skills. So skills, you can look at things that you've done in high school. If you were a prefect, you were in SRC in varsity, you can put the skills around leadership. So your skills should also match what you have as part of your like your achievements from high school. So if you were in leadership positions in high school, then the leadership can be reflected on the skills. And this is also, when you're trying to do your CV, make it flow, make it tell a story. What you have as your achievement can also be reflected on your skills. So you cannot just have like a blank CV where you don't have much information, and now when it goes to your skill, you're writing all the skills that somebody is asking themselves, like, where did you learn them? Good communication skills. So that would be reflected also from maybe you've studied communication. So including your modules, that's also very important because that can also allow you to broaden the market, the job market. If you've studied something for an example, in engineering, mechanical engineering, and you are looking for a position in manufacturing, if you have studied manufacturing, then that should be highlighted as the module that you've covered. So that will also help your CV stand out. So write your achievements. That's very important if you don't have any work experience. Your achievements from primary, even primary, right? Even primary, because it also shows like the type of person you are, like the values that you have, as an individual, or rather the skills that you have as an individual. So write that from primary, high school, and then university. You can include that. What is very important is just to make your CV flow, and what you have on the work experience, or rather on the achievements from high school. So you include your high school modules, you include your university modules. This will help to make your CV a little bit long, because if you don't put anything, then your CV will be empty, and then you put your skills. So I'll put an example of a CV of somebody that is in just completed their degree and they're looking for a job, and they don't have any work experience. But I would really propose that you first look at the work experience as like what you've done in the past, to reflect on things that you've done that could be deemed as a work experience, but you're not just thinking that they are, the work experience. It's very important that when you are studying, even when you're still in school, try to get some piece jobs, try to volunteer somewhere, because this is going to help you to have some work experience when you start looking for a job of something that you've studied. Then at least you would have something to demonstrate. So that is always my advice. So as we're about to conclude, I would advise that as you are crafting your CV without any work experience, look at something like a strong opening line, because that's what's going to make the recruiters or the hiring manager to look at your CV. Remember, I always talk about your CV being your shopping catalog. So that strong opening line, which is telling a story, would make them want to hire you. Include your modules. If you've like excelled quite well, you've got like 80%, you passed most of your modules with distinction. Actually, if you passed with more than 65%, include that, because most companies, when they are looking for interns or graduate trainees, they start from 65%. Not so advisable for 65%, because now, at a glance, when they look at your CV, like 65%, let's look for somebody with 80. So if you've got like 80, put it. 70, put it. It really, it's great, and it also shows that maybe you weren't really focused on other working and other activities. You were focusing on academics. So that tells a different story about yourself. And when you put your skills as well, you need to put it around the skills that you could have gained during like when you're focusing more on the academics. And then put your your achievements. Very important. People want to see what you've achieved. Is it just academics, or you have other achievements that you've achieved during your studies? So colleagues, let me know what you think about CV writing, job hunting as a whole. I mean, job hunting is a job on its own. Let me know what you think in the comment box, and what you think about the job market. Like, are you winning? You've been job hunting for how long? Let me know. And also let me know what you would like me to cover in the next segment. So thank you so much for joining in. Bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Bye bye.